The following program contains naughty bits.
Saturdays are going to be for subs, or we're going to have a subathon. So, a subathon.
Well, I tell you how it works for me, Alpha Self. Saturday could be Friday. It could be a fun bag special day because she loves to refer to her beautiful breasts as exactly that. My favorite word in the whole dictionary, folks. But apart from me ogling Miss Elf herself's beautiful jugs, it's time to get on with today's video. Even though I don't want to. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we all saw that horrific underwater trailer this week for Subnautica 2. And were you thrilled? I wasn't. I instantly recognized the ESG DEI forced representation with the two characters we're faced with. A very light-skinned black boy, and I'm assuming it's his sister or girlfriend in the mini vessel who looks rather like Beyonce or a fish person. But then again, if you put Beyonce next to a fish person, you really can't tell the difference. But oh my, when you get into this video today, folks, Unknown World Entertainment, the people who are formed in 2001, are responsible for this particular game series and also natural selection. Well, you know one thing and for all. It's the ESG narrative, not just controlled by the mainly white developers at this development studios, but also by South Korea.
You know what old Jack Burton always says at a time like this?
Who?
Jack Burton. Me.
They hunted him down. They murdered his friends. And they took the only thing he would kill for.
You know this guy?
Yeah, but I'm not proud of it.
If it's a mission no man can survive, he's the man for the job.
Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Fuck you, asshole.
So watch out for him and his babes of the 1980s. Hail to the Jason King, baby.
It's all in the reflexes.
So, as aforementioned during my introduction, Krafton, the Submariner 2 parent organization based in South Korea. At this stage, are they a based company? I hate to tell you this, but they're not. They're the same people behind the new Sims-like simulator coming out very soon called Inzoi. The game that embraces a little bit of ESG because when it comes to selecting a male or a female, there's also a third category for non-binary person. So I guess we're not made up of ones and zeros anymore then. So have a look at this on the Krafton official site, governance, because ESG, economic, social governance, right? Now, if you look at the shareholders right here, there's no mention about BlackRock or anybody like that. They're all anonymous, which is quite interesting. Well, there are some named here, to be fair, but there are other individuals and other institutions and domestic ones that you don't know who they actually are. So we've got the shareholders meetings here, which is fine. I don't need to know that stuff. But the regulations are the more interesting things that we've got to pay attention to right here, folks. Board regulations, compensation, ESG committee regulations. What do you think we're going to find here, folks? All these articles, the scope of application, the purpose. So it's pretty much a contractual agreement as such about how Krafton embraces the ESG nonsense. It is hilarious. And in fact, to this point here, under Article 3, we need ESG to enhance shareholder value. Well, so here's the history in brief of Unknown Worlds Entertainment. Formed in 2001, a year later, they brought out Natural Selection. In 2006, Zen of Sudoku. Try saying that 3 times after you've had a few bevvies at your local bar, or in my case, bra. Then you get, now this is the most recent version of the website, folks. I mentioned it for a specific reason. Diversity and inclusion, because when it comes to making a video game, folks, you have to consider all of these things now. It's not about meritocracy and if the person's worthy of being at the table to contribute his or her talent. Yes, I'm actually being specific about the gender there. So at Unknown World, we pride ourselves on being a globally based, are you really? And represented team. As such, we are committed to diversity as one of our core values. And I've got something to show you in a minute, folks, that kind of actually bucks this or contradicts this point being made right here. However, we also have the responsibility to ensure that our values translate into concrete evidence. What games we make, how we make them, and how we hire our people. Again, going back to the point I'm going to show you in a second, we pledge to carry out this effort in earnest with an open mind and with the intention to improve this industry for everyone, he says, shaking his big old titties right there. And when it comes to the organizations Unknown World supports, the Action Against Hunger, San Francisco Marine or Marin Food Bank, the NAACP for Defense, Legal and Education Funds, and oh no, the Game Devs of Color Expo, folks. Whoa, who would have guessed? And the National Center for Transgender Equality, which sounds like the weirdest thing when you hear it, because if you transition to either sex, how can it be equality if you're not that original sex to begin with? So that statement alone makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. As we progress, folks, who are Unknown Worlds Entertainment? Well, it's made up of a team of mainly white folks. Again, the same white folks who have given you diverse folks in the Subnautica series. Subnautica below Sub-Zero, which is where this hideous design should also be. But what do Unknown Worlds also do? They feel passionately, as opposed to feeling each other, about their company's goal to unite the world through play and through social engineering in video games where you inject pronouns and ESG and DEI. That makes so much sense. We strive to create inclusive experiences through diverse representation of characters, cultures, environments, and many, many more. I'd like to know what those blanks are, funny enough. The team is composed of people from across the planet, as opposed to Uranus.
My bum is on the cheese! Bum is on the cheese! If I get lucky, I'll get a disease!
Now, you know what I said before in the middle of this video about how they hire people based on not merit? Well, here is something here that I saw in Smash JT's video, and this is where it kind of gets a little bit more you want to choke in your own vomit. Before I get to the creme de la creme, folks, look at these 5 bullet points up here. Preferences, right? Now, preferences is a bit of an ambiguous word because it's like, well, this is what we prefer, but if you don't have everything, it doesn't matter because we can overlook some of those obstacles. Working on open world games in the survival craft genre. Experience doing content design as an individual contributor. You need to have experience as a technical designer in Unreal Engine 5. Experience with open development of early access models. Could that be Christy Turnington they're talking about? Oh, not those kind of models. Oh, never mind. Scripting experience, in code, proprietary tools, or visual scripting languages. Now, you've read and understood those 5 bullet points. Yes, of course. But if you don't meet every one of those single requirements, folks, guess what? Studies have shown that women and people of color, which is a very weird double-edged phrase because you're saying women, then you're saying people of color, but aren't women also people of color? And does people of color mean only women are people of color? What about men? are less likely to apply for these jobs unless they meet every single qualification. But don't worry, Unknown Worlds Entertainment have got your back and probably your front when you get through the door. Unknown Worlds are dedicated to building a diverse, inclusive, and authentic workplace, which is a bullshit statement already because what they just said before this is anything but authentic. So if you're excited about this role, but your past experience, even if you did jail time, doesn't align perfectly with every qualification in the job description, we encourage you to apply anyway. You might just be the right candidate for this or other roles. So in other words, if you don't get this prized trophy of a job, you might end up cleaning toilets and wiping the floors in the general director's office. Isn't that a proud moment to tell the wife and kids? Of course it is. Now, if you go back on the Wayback Machine, which I've done right here, so we are on the year 2019, and that was still a relatively good year, folks. I'm going to zoom in on October the 7th right here because that's my birthday, and I'm going to take this snapshot and see where it leads us into the world of the unknown, folks. And here we go. A transition, folks. Not smooth, not seamless, but eventually we're going to get there because the Wayback Archive is very douchey this way. And I'm going to sit back and talk about, I don't know, legs, bums, boobs, and thighs. And so far, nothing else is happening to fill the void. And suddenly it all comes true, folks. So here we go. Jobs and what they're hiring for. So I just happen to have another tab open here, folks. So it's the same year, but a different month. So for the vacancy of the systems programmer, what does it actually say here for requirements? Quite a lot, actually. It's about 2, 4, 6, I'll say about 14 requirements at a rough guess looking at those bullet points. And it's very specific, very strict. And then you get to this little segment here that Unknown World Entertainment Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer. Qualified applicants will receive consideration for employment without regard to their race, sex, color, which I always find very hilarious actually, or sexual orientation. So it kind of goes, so when I look at that now actually, because I misread this before I made this video, so it seems they were already practicing the updated version where, hey guys, if you don't have all the qualifications, you can come on in. But what it says here is, if you have the qualifications, you will receive consideration without regards to your race, background, or anything else. So if you don't have the qualifications, it means that if you meet those check marks of race, color, and everything else, you'll probably get the job anyway. So it looks like they were practicing this in 2019, which is rather nefarious and obviously very underhand. So Unknown World Entertainment and Krafton from South Korea, can they be trusted as entities or entities in the video game sphere? I'm afraid the answer is, folks, for the time being, absolutely not. There's nothing here that gives me any joy, any momentum, anything that would suggest I need to be excited about this. And like I said, folks, that Subnautica 2 trailer reeks of ESG and DEI nonsense.
Kung Fu Hot Dog donated £2 through Super Chat. Rich bled subs after 1 million.
Yep.
Coffee on me, Eric.
Thank you so much, Kung Fu Hot Dog. And you guys should check out Kung Fu Hot Dog's channel as well. I'm subbed to his content. Covers similar topics to what I do. Check him out.
Let's cue the Jaws theme. And who could this be? Ugh! That really is worthy of the Jaws theme. Who are you? What are you? And why are your eyebrows absolutely so ridiculous? This is where you wanted the monobrow to come into full effect, ladies and gentlemen. 'Cause 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 'C
down to Dallas. My wheels provide my palace. And off to New Orleans or who knows where. Places new and ladies too. I'm BJ McKay and this is my best friend